Where do babies come from? Jen Elledge here, sexual health expert and founder of the Talk Institute, here to do another book review on how to talk to your kids about sex. This is a great one for a first book, and it even says that in the title. It says our first talk about birth. It's from Where Do Babies Come From by Dr. Jillian Roberts. And this is very, very simple. And it truly is the first talk. So it's going to be the most simplistic explanation of what sex is in this book. But this is great if you have a very young child that's asking where babies come from. So this would be a great way for you to kind of talk about that and not make something up like the stork brings them or they grow in a cabbage patch or something silly like that. Okay? So this is going to help you talk about it in a very simple way without getting into the details of the penis goes in the vagina and the sperm and the egg. It's very simple. So let's take a look at it. And it's got great illustrations. So nature was given every living thing a way to make a baby. Let's go back here. But where do all those babies come from? Babies come from their mother's bodies. When a woman has a baby growing inside of her, she is said to be pregnant or expecting a baby. What part of the mother's body does the baby come from? Under there? A baby comes from the mother's womb, which is just below the stomach. It provides a safe place for the baby to grow. How does the baby start growing in the first place? 2 ingredients are needed to make a baby, a sperm and an egg. When the sperm and the egg come together, a baby might begin to grow. Where do babies' ingredients come from? The sperm comes from the father's body and the egg comes from the mother's body. When it's time to make a baby, these 2 bodies fit together. The sperm finds the egg and a seed may be planted in the mother's womb. That seed starts very little and grows into a big baby. How does the baby grow? The baby grows when it's fed. How does the baby eat? A bit of the mother's food feeds the baby through a special tube called an umbilical cord. This connects the baby to its mother. When the baby is born, the umbilical cord falls off and leaves the belly button. How long does it take to grow a baby? It goes through the months, and it shows the size of the baby compared to food. How does the baby get out? When it's time for a baby to be born, he or she is delivered through the mother's birth canal. A baby can be born at home or in the hospital. Each and every one of us started life as a little seed, and that little seed became you. And the very last page actually has just a few more questions. So how does a sperm, if you get these questions from your kid, these are some ideas, scripts of what you can say. So how does a sperm find the egg? Who helps bring babies into the world? What about babies who were adopted? Where do they come from? And what about families with only 1 mom or dad, or 2 moms or 2 dads? How do different kinds of families have babies? So there's a little paragraph for each of those if you get those questions from your kids. Again, this is very simple. It didn't talk about the baby coming out of the vagina. It just says the birth canal. It doesn't say where that is, right? So if you got those questions, you could certainly talk about that. Or if you're want to keep it super simple and it's a very young child, this could be a good first book, but definitely not very detailed. You'll need to read another book when they get a little bit older. But this is a great first one. Again, where do babies come from? Our first talk about birth. I hope that helps, and I'll see you in our next book review. Bye-bye.